One of my favorite topics to talk about with tiny business owners is having multiple revenue streams. But it seems there's a lot of confusion around this topic. So let's clear a few things up by what I am talking about with multiple revenue streams. I'm not talking about starting another business or having another job on the side or things like that. I'm talking about within your own business having more than one very large client, because that could mean that if you lose that client, you no longer have business. But it also means that, especially if you are a talented tiny business owner and your business is more around some sort of creativeness, having more than one obvious way that income comes in through that business. I'm going to use my very favorite example to use, and that is with musicians. So when a musician or a band or whatever, anything in that genre puts their music out, they get money from multiple things the bigger they get, right? So we'll go with the old school. It's a little more confusing nowadays with streaming. The old school way that musicians would have made their money is that they would have recorded that music and sold whatever you want to call it, album CDs, whatever of the time was. Now they do that digitally, but I think it's a little weird now with the days with royalties, unless you're Taylor Swift. But they would have the sold recording in some way, right? That's one revenue stream. The second would be that they would go on tour. They're smaller, maybe not a tour, but perform live and have revenue from the concert tickets. One of the biggest ways that musicians still make money is through merch that is both sold at those live shows, on tours, and on their website, etc., etc. So that's 3 revenue streams, right? Then some musicians will also, if let's say they're in a band, they sometimes will hire themselves to perform on somebody else's record or album or whatever you want to call it, or play live with other musicians. So now we have 2 more revenue streams brought on. They also, many musicians do this now and get paid huge sums of money, especially by like sheiks in other countries, will get paid to perform privately at certain events, right? We have another revenue stream. Now, another way that musicians often will make money is that they will make a recording or sell the rights to a song for a commercial or for something along those lines. Maybe they'll write something like a jingle or something. Great, another revenue stream. Now, there are many musicians like Lady Gaga who are brilliant writers. Lady Gaga, at the beginning of her career, I'm not sure if she still does, wrote a ton of music for other musicians. So she would get paid for her creating a song for another musician or band to perform, play, sing, anything. Speaking of Lady Gaga very famously does, I don't know if she does one show or if she does it for a long time, but she does Vegas residencies, let's say, or something like that. That's another revenue stream. She also does them with Tony Bennett. So now she's not only performing, she's kind of going backwards. Instead of going from a band and then solo, she performs with Tony Bennett, and then they record both albums together and have done Vegas shows together, which is crazy. He is quite old to be still doing all of this. Creatives can do things forever, and he knows that it is creating new revenue streams doing these collaborations. So you're starting to understand what revenue streams look like for businesses, especially for creative business owners. It's a sad fact. I'm an art school kid. A lot of the times, the very high arts, unless you're in that top 1%, are not earning very much money. So the best thing for you to do is to understand, in owning a business around your creative talents, is how to have more income still doing the same thing, not creating another business, not going and selling something for somebody else, although being an affiliate of things can be a natural progression. But I don't want you to think about how you're doing things that are completely removed from your brand and your current audience, right? When you're adding more revenue streams, it is still to the same people who are buying from you. It's not about having to create a new audience and market to new people. It's about understanding what the people who are already buying from you want. What other problems you can be solving, not finding new audiences, still giving to that same audience and creating more revenue streams for you so that your profits are higher and you are making more money as a business owner without having to do extra work of creating that new audience, that new business, things like that. I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers. More information on starting and running your tiny business, make sure you pick up a copy of Smarter Starting wherever you buy books.